everybody. Welcome to Depot TV. I'm your host, Sherry Jackson, Executive Director of the Depot, and thanks so much for tuning in. We're happy to be back on some Sunday nights with original content and interviews, music and stories after a long and beautiful summer running Summer Breeze concerts in the park. We hope you get a chance to get out to the park and join us for some really amazing shows, all local music. It is spectacular, the breadth and depth of the talent pool for original music here in Central Oklahoma. And we were so happy to present some of those to you this summer. We intended to do some original content on the weeks we didn't have Summer Breeze, but man, the weather, we had rain chances every single Summer Breeze Sunday. And a couple of them, well, we just had to call off or reschedule. But everybody, all of the artists, the staff, the volunteers, the board members included, we all rolled with it. And it turned out, I think, pretty okay. A big, huge thank you to all of the sponsors, the individuals, those of you that put a few dollars in a bucket, donated via PayPal. And you'll see those sponsors' names when we roll credits because they sponsor and help with all the programs of the Depot. And to that point, let's talk about September. It is our membership drive here in September, and you can become a member of the Depot in September. We've got 3 membership levels, a basic, a premier, and a sustaining member level. Go take a look at the website at normandepot.org/join. Take a look and find out how you could become a member with a one-time donation. You could set it up, customize it, do it monthly, any little bit you can do to help make sure that the programs at the Depot keep running and we get to have Summer Breeze again next year. We appreciate all of that help. And if you become a member by the end of this month, we'll send you a free Summer Breeze sticker. They're really cute. Joshua Boydston, Associate Director at the Norman Arts Council, designed a really lovely special design for us this year. And you can have a sticker if you become a member in September. All right, on with this week's Depot TV. We have lovely Susan Herndon with us. We recorded this a little while back, intending to air it over the summer. Didn't happen, but it's here tonight. Susan sharing some songs with us and fighting the forces of evil. Artist and really creative individual Lauren Midgley, whose Surrealist Self-Portraiture you can see on our website, and a few in person at the Depot as well. And she's really a creative person. Her work is so thoughtful and it speaks volumes. All of those pictures, I really enjoyed getting to talk to her about her process. And lastly, we've got a story from Terry Buffalo Ware, another edition of Terry's Ware. That's it for me. On to Depot TV. Enjoy.
If you hear the train whistle in the broad daylight, you know that it's for me. 'Cause I'm down by the tracks when nothing feels right. There's no place I wanna be. A long stretch of nothing, but there's a train in sight, and that's what I like to see. And the engineer waves back, and I know it may be trite, but he blows his whistle just for me. The world has gone mad, and I need something true. So if I hear the train whistle in the broad daylight, you know that it's for me. Train whistle in the middle of the night, I know that it's for me. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. She tries to reach the shore, but she cannot lay her eggs. Trucks that drill for oil and gas threaten the turtle nests in their way. Every act of violence is a lunge for mother. He slouches into the bank in his worn out shoes, hands the girl a note and says, "Don't nobody move." Every act of violence is a lunge for mother. Fallujah Easy Company's 3rd platoon. "This war is freaking awesome," he said. "I say administrative ruse. The smell of death and tank fire as they try to dress his wounds. "I miss my mom," he cried. His last words, "I remember her perfume." Every act of violence is a lunge for mother. "I can't breathe," he grasped. The officer will not remove his knee that's down upon his neck, and he cries, "Mama, help me please." Now millions fill the streets for justice and equality, to fill the void of hate with love, for the air that George Floyd still needs. And the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world.
Hi, we are so happy to be here today with our guest, Susan Herndon. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you, Sherry. So nice to be here.
How you doing today, Susan?
Doing good. Doing all right.
Good?
Yeah,
We're
it's cold. It's cold today.
Yes, I was just about to say we are taping this on the cold day, the beginning of what I hope is the last cold snap until we hit late fall 2021, because I really was loving that sunshine.
Surely true. Yes.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
needed a little bright and happiness. So thank you so much for being here, for being willing to share your music with us again. I absolutely love hearing you sing. You bring just joy and light and life, and I love all of that.
You. Thanks
Um,
so much.
so I have some questions, if that's all right with you.
Sure. Yeah, that's
I get curious about musicians. The first is, you live here in Norman. Are you a Normanite or a transplant Normanite?
I've been thinking Norman is like my touchstone. I was born,
Yeah.
I grew up in Tulsa from the age of 1 on. So I'm a Tulsa girl, but I was born in St. Louis. And this is probably my 5th time to be back in Norman, 4th or 5th time
Oh,
I
wow.
back here and living a little while. I was just getting ready to move last year
Mhm.
when the pandemic hit.
Really? Where were you going to go?
Well, I was thinking about going down to Texas to the hill country. I have some
Oh,
friends.
nice.
Yeah. So, but I decided to wait because, the numbers were bad down there and
Yeah,
at the time. And yeah, so
right.
I'm happy to be here.
I do like that thought that Norman is a touchstone. I think there are a lot of us, you know, even those of us like myself that grew up here that feel that all roads lead right back here at
It's
some point.
it's true, they do.
Yeah.
It's a great, easy town, with a great feel and great
Mhm.
people and a
Yeah.
great music scene.
Yeah.
You know, so it's hard to leave.
Yeah, I agree.
Always back.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of music and the music scene, when did being a musician become a part of who you are?
Oh my gosh, probably when I was 2 years old, really. Everyone in my family played music and played piano.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
so my parents were so sweet to gift us all the music lessons. And Mrs. Trace was my piano teacher, and she started me out at 2,
Yeah.
reading music as colors, and so up on a bunch of phone directories, which are passe. They don't even exist anymore.
Right.
You know, doing it that way. And then I think when I was 12 years old, I knew I knew I wanted to write songs
Mhm.
and do that. It just took me a long time. I started when I jumped off of the day job very late in life and to play music and in my 30s. And so, yeah, I feel like I'm a real late at the game to do this, but I love it. There's nothing else I can do. I'm
There you go.
unhappy if I'm if I'm not playing music every day.
Well, it doesn't sound like you're late to it. It was just the right time for you.
Everything's
That's when it happened.
I guess so.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yes.
That was just your schedule.
Yes.
Uh, and when you started playing music, you sing, I love that you are a regular at Woody Guthrie Folk Festival, that you play with that amazing group of people, keeping that sort of spirit of that music alive. And is that the kind of music you drawn to? Did you start with other kinds? Did you finally settle into that? Where did that go for you?
Um, I think that too is like a touchstone for me. I mean, and Woody Guthrie's such a major part of music
Mm,
in for us in Oklahoma.
yeah.
And I love folk music, but I love all kinds of music. So I feel like um, uh, I do settle into that every July when we have Woody Fest. Um,
Hmm.
and I play those songs throughout the year, every week at my shows. But I like jazz, and on Mondays we do a blues jam at Othello's, and with
Hmm.
Wes McMichael and the Ravens. And then
Hmm.
my band, I have a horn section now, the Bella Council, and so we do a lot of kind of soul music, which and Motowny feel, I'd like to say.
I love
Um,
it.
so yes, I love Woody Fest and Woody Guthrie and all that he's done for the nation, for this
Yeah.
country, but especially for our state too, and us as
Hmm.
individuals. Yes.
And I love that you like all kinds of music, and I love that you play several different genres of music. A horn section, a horn section in the Motown sound might be my happy place. Just like that hits every one of the bliss I've got. That's just all of them. Uh,
Yes.
that's that's lovely. I love that you do that. And then last, talk to me about fighting the forces of evil. I love that this is what your weekly stream has been called. Is that something that you came up with and created during the pandemic, or is that a phrase that you've been using for a long time?
It really came about organically. I was playing
Hmm.
in Tulsa at a place called Soul City, and I was doing
Yeah,
a Friday happy hour there every week. And
nice.
and there it's just we would have grievances every week, with things in the news and the current affairs and situation that was
Hmm.
going down. And so we would just talk about it, and songs would be incorporated that go along with our grievances. And here, can I show this?
Yeah.
I had the foresight to bring that. This is a poster made by Steve Murphy, who
Oh,
he surprised me when my mom was passing a couple years ago, and I was
mm,
in the hospital with her, and he sent this to me without asking him to, and He had made that poster for us for our Fighting the
Oh,
Forces of Evil.
that's lovely.
Isn't that great? So
That's
anyway,
so
so yeah,
cool.
it just carried on, and Soul City has now since switched to Maggie's Music Box, and they're out in Jinx now.
Mhm.
But we've kept going with the streaming Fighting the Forces of Evil. So
I love that, and I love that idea. It, you know, for me, that kind of it brings back it's a little bit of an homage in my brain to that Woody Guthrie "This machine kills fascists" kind of idea.
Lee,
Yeah, and I love that. I couldn't agree more. I think music and art are a powerful force for progress and healing and humanity and community, and I love what you do.
thank you, absolutely, and likewise, I love what you do, and thank you for your support for all of us. And it is we do have the power.
What we do indeed. We do
Yes,
indeed. As you're going to show us on this episode, sharing a few songs with us. And thank you very much for that.
thank you, Sherry. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. Susan Herndon, if you're thinking of pulling some shenanigans, look out. She and her guitar are coming for you. We will fight the forces of evil on this episode. Thank you so much, Susan, for being here. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Sherry.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, guys. It's me, Sherry. And guess what this is? It's a commercial. Actually, it's a commercial for commercials. We have time on Depot TV in space, and we need some partners to help support Depot TV and keep it going. But you know what we got? We got this platform and audiences every week. And if you sell a thing or provide a service or just want to support us and say thanks, or if you have a shout out or something you want people to know about, you could become a partner in the Depot and have some commercial time of your very own. So give us a call at 405-307-9320 or email us at office@normandepot.org and find out how this commercial space could be your commercial space. Thanks. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us at Depot TV. We have with us the fantastic artist and pretty spectacular human, Lauren Midgley. Welcome, Lauren.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So happy to have you here. We talked about earlier, I think my love of interviewing started with the opportunity we had to sit down and chat about your work at the reception we had for your solo show at the Depot. I enjoyed that evening very much.
Yeah, it was a great evening. It was probably one of my first interviews, at least to like a live crowd. And I felt like we had amazing chemistry. I really enjoyed talking to you, Sherry.
Yeah, I thought we had a great time too. And I loved hearing about your process because your work is so interesting and so evocative. The work that you do, you call surrealist self-portraiture.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah.
And let's, if it's okay with you, we're going to show some images of the work that you do while we talk about it.
Please do.
So all of these images, the images that you create, you use yourself in this work.
Yes.
And this is manipulated photography. And tell us a little bit how you got to this style of work. Like, where did you start that you got here?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that's kind of it's hard to funnel down exactly what the process looks like, right, for
Yeah.
creative, because we tend to be we grab from all areas of our life and our experience and all of that.
Absolutely.
I would say that, I was learning to use I had learned to use my camera, and I'd been doing all the very traditional mainstream types of photography. And I just really found that it just wasn't fulfilling me the way that I hoped it would.
Yeah.
And anyone who knows me well knows that I have like a very vivid dream world. I don't know exactly why that is, probably because I don't sleep real well. And so, anyhow, yeah, I started pulling from images that I would see in dreams kind of as a starting point. So a lot of my work is very heavily inspired by dreams, whether it be like, it's usually dreams, like actual sleeping dreams. Sometimes it's just daydreaming. I don't know. I find that as a mental escape, which we have all needed in the last year, that my mind wanders quite a lot. And so I just spend a lot of time just thinking off the wall thoughts. So what does that look like in process? Well, this image that you see on the screen right now is called Love Letters. And it's, of course, I say that they're all my favorites, but it is one of my favorites, probably because it's the most mysterious to me. I was actually somewhere in between waking and sleeping. I was like coming to, and it was like a screen rolled out in front of my eyes, and I saw this image. And I woke up and I was like, wow, that was a really, something stirred in me, like super, super deep. And I just decided that I wanted to try to recreate it. And what was really fascinating about this one is all the different elements that it took to pull together. Many of them were very meaningful to me. So we've got a book that was given to us on our wedding day, and my wedding dress in the image as well. And then the tree that you see is actually two trees put together. One of them is the the trunk, I should say, of a massive tree in the backyard of the house that we just sold. But what's meaningful about that tree is we had a tree guy come out because it needed some trimming. And he comes out and he has this moment with this tree, and he's like, this is an amazing tree. And I'm like, okay, cool. But he starts telling me about the tree, and come to find out, the tree's origin comes from the place that is also the origin of my maiden name, which I find really fascinating. Yeah. Wow. So it's called a Durmast oak, and it is the national tree of Cornwall. And so my maiden name originates in Cornland, which no longer is a place, but it still exists. Anyhow, and then the branches actually came from a tree that I came to find out after I took the photo, that was named after my great-grandmother. So my grandmother passed away about 2 years ago, and we went out to the old farm where she grew up, and I saw this tree that was dying, and it had really interesting branches. And so I photographed the branches, and then later my mom and I were going through the pictures, and she said, oh, that's Mammo's tree. And so what I love even more, and I feel like I've gone off on super ADD tangents, but what I love even more about this is that part of the history of photography and what makes photography unique is that it's able to capture moments in time that may not exist in the future, right? It solidifies history. And so I found out about 4 months after I shot that particular tree that it fell. And so it no longer exists. And so this was probably, maybe, I'd like to think anyways, one of the last moments that tree ever existed, and it was named after my grandmother. And anyhow, so this particular image, although, still remains a mystery in terms of what it might mean or the symbolism of it, is very meaningful to me because a lot of really sentimental parts of my life went into creating it.
I loved what you said about capturing history in a photograph and about a moment that won't be there after. There's something you can tell. I think what's so powerful about the work that you do, Lauren, with these photographs, at least for me, is that you can tell there are several touch points of storytelling and emotion going on in every one of them. And I love that you revealed that that you are also a very active dreamer, because there's something very dreamlike about them. That's the surrealist part, where you just get odd angles or strange contortions, or the headless figure, or a head in a cloud like this one, where you get those, but they're still so accessible.
Yeah. Well, I like to think that all human experience is relatable. I mean, certainly my experience won't look exactly like your experience, but there's a lot of parallel in what we experience and how we process those things. And so I think a lot of starting artists or budding artists have a lot of fear surrounded, and certainly I still struggle with this. I'm not saying I'm beyond it, but there's a lot of fear over, if I let my true self be seen in my work, you know, what will that look like? Will people reject it? Will they not be able to relate? Will I be called weird or strange, or, you know, you name it? And I think that I've arrived at a place, and I think my work is probably to credit in terms of getting me to that place, where I'm okay with that now, you know, because I believe that there are enough people. I like to call it finding your tribe, right? You know, the people who are going to resonate with my work and my my heart are going to be my people, and those that don't, maybe we should just have a little conversation, because I find that it's a lot of times certainly when I see work that maybe I might call offensive or might offend other people, a lot of times it's misunderstanding, right? So if we move in closer and gain a more well-rounded perspective of what that looks like, I think there's a lot that can be gleaned from that. And so, anyhow, I hope that answers your question.
Oh, absolutely. And I think you're right. There's something very powerful about letting go of the need to have your expectations from other people validated, or to have yourself validated externally, when you can just let go and express and realize that the people that you draw to you when you do that are people that are seeing all of you. And there's something lovely about that.
Right.
And I would be remiss if I just didn't mention how absolutely brave it is for you to center yourself and that work in your artwork. Being an artist of any kind, a musical artist or a songwriter or a visual artist, is vulnerable enough without putting yourself literally in the picture. So
Absolutely.
I absolutely love that.
Thank you.
Before I let you go, though, I want to touch on, it's a very interesting thing for so many artists as you work to have a career, or to be able to keep art as a part of your life. And it's not always the thing that will help sustain family and life and everything. And people find, and we are moving into a gig economy world. So you have interesting things going on in your gig economy world. And I wanted to let people know about that.
Yeah, well, I think it really started kind of at the end of last year. I kind of came to a place where I was tired. I think we all were, for different reasons, but being that fine art was so close to my heart, you know, I wanted that to be a income sustaining or sustainable income for my family. And you know, the economy is not super great right now, and there's a lot going on. And so one of the things that I did long before I was married or had kids or even pursued art was actually an EMT for a little while. And I loved it, but I had to step away in order to, you know, go to college and do the things that I wanted to do, namely start a family. So at the end of last year, I kind of was feeling this ache inside, and long story short, a set of circumstances put me on the back of an ambulance, and it's fine. We're all fine. But it sparked that love again. And I realized that if I went back to do that, that I could take the financial burden off of the creation of art, which would ultimately allow me to put the love back where it needed to be and stop being so tired. And so I went back in January. I'm like this close to finishing up my certification. I've got my last 2 tests this week, and then I'll be certified. And what I love about it is this dichotomy of like medical and art, right? And our culture doesn't necessarily put those two things together very well. They seem like opposing viewpoints. And what I came to realize is anybody who looks at my Instagram or has talked to me or asked me like why I do what I do, I always say that I create in order to move through areas of brokenness and to cultivate community. And what I realized through a lot of soul searching is that the pursuit of emergency medicine and the pursuit of fine art are the same thing for me. They are both moving towards brokenness and helping to cultivate community. And so I thought it was really amazing because I would not have been able to pinpoint that in my earlier days. But and yeah, I'm really excited about what lies ahead and how it will complement my art, actually. So
I'm thrilled for you too.
Thank you.
I think there's something powerful, like we were saying earlier, in letting go and being yourself. And when you sometimes when you do that, all of the pieces start to fall into place. So if this is one of those pieces for you that's like falling into place and will, make the whole picture come into focus a little bit more, I'm so thrilled for you.
Thank you. I'm really excited about it too. So,
all right. Last thing, let's tell everybody where they can see your art. You can see some representative pieces of Lauren's work at the Depot during our gallery hours, several more of her pieces on the website. And where else can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, on my website, iamwonderandlight.com. My Instagram account is iamwonderandlight. And those are my two primary platforms. I am on Facebook as well. You can find me there. But yeah, if you need to get a hold of me, you now know where to find me.
There you go. Wonderful. Everybody go check out the work of Lauren Midgley. It's beautiful and inspiring and powerful, just like Lauren. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Do more.
Well, yeah. The next one we did the Willie Nelson picnic in 1976, which was in Gonzales, Texas, and it was hot and dusty too, and there were quite a few people on. I mean, it's kind of the Willie's cast of characters back then. Like Doug Somm was there. I remember that. Doug Somm, B.W. Stevens, and of course Jerry Jeff, Waylon, Leon, just the whole gang, I guess you'd say. And Floyd Tillman. Got to see Floyd Tillman at that one, which was really cool. Floyd, I'm sure you know who he is, a classic country songwriter.
Sure.
So that was really cool seeing him play. But we were. Go ahead.
Was it pretty free range at that sort of thing? Would you see those guys just out walking about?
Oh yeah, well yeah, backstage you would,
totally.
And hanging out. But the big thing that happened at that picnic for us, this is still Ray Wiley Hubbard and the Cowboy Twinkies, of course,
right?
And was we were backstage and David Allan Coe was there, and he was had invited members of the Banditos motorcycle gang to hang out with him. He kind of liked that sort of stuff, I guess. But anyway, so they were all backstage, and David Allan himself and these friends of his from the Banditos were walking around with pistols in their back pockets.
Yikes.
For everybody to see. I mean, and it's thought, everybody's going to go, it's kind of weird, it's like taking this outlaw thing a little far, aren't you?
A bit literal, huh?
Yeah, and so these guys are literally walking around backstage, these clearly visible pistols in their back pockets, and it felt pretty strange.
Sure.
Created kind of an uneasy vibe, I guess you'd say.
Would.
So we went on to do our set, and we were on in the afternoon. We were up, and I can even remember the song we were playing. I believe it was strike that. I was thinking of another gig.
and another song. Right?
Yeah, and another song, which was an equally weird thing, but that's another story and another festival. But anyway, so we were up on stage playing, and somebody in the crowd threw a lit pack of firecrackers up on the stage.
On the stage near one of y'all while you're
Well, it was off to the side, and
Okay,
they tossed it up. And all of a sudden we're playing and all these firecrackers start going off. We didn't see the person actually toss them up there. So we had just gotten on stage. This is just after seeing David Allen and all these literal outlaw biker guys. I mean, the Banditos are a rough gang. They're
doubt.
Hell's Angel quality.
No doubt.
And we'd seen that, and all of a sudden you're hearing all this, and we all hit the deck.
Sure.
We thought it was we thought it was gunfire.
It was going down, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then we realized that it was just firecrackers.
Yeah.
And
Thank goodness.
yeah, it was. We continued our set.
Yeah. Well, the show must go on.
But that's my most memorable moment from that particular picnic.
Yeah.
Gray skies, flag at half mast. All the world's in mourning and it's going by so fast. Blood and tide, loosed upon the earth. What is good and true has lost its worth. I gotta get back. I gotta get back to. I gotta get back. I gotta get back to you. Going down to Joe's, buy a bottle of Jim Beam, take it out where the cotton grows, see if we can mend things. You twist my arm, you made me bleed, you bend my will, and you got me down on my knees. I've gotta get back. Ooh, I've gotta get back to. Ooh, I've gotta get back. I've gotta get back to you. I gotta get back. I gotta get back to. Ooh, I've gotta get back. I've gotta get back to you. Take a walk through town, on the street where you live, past your house, the empty lot, you are gone. I say a prayer for you and everyone in these times. See our lawns are overgrown, rain come down, sun shines on. How you make a place for me as I'm fed up and kicked out and set free in the riots and the wasteland of this economy. Yeah, and how you make a case for me. Now I'm tired and broken, I need company in the ravages of this wild disease. I'm at the mercy of your love. Stop for a smoke, make my way through the alley, cross the railroad tracks. I recall you in my dream last night, and I can hardly breathe when I think of what's been done. But how face I see through years of struggle, and with ease, a refuge on the shores of this red and tangled prairie. And how I face the way to be in this lawless land now, the not so free. I'm gonna build upon the banks of my beautiful eternity. I'm at the mercy of your love. Kicked out and set free in the ravages of this wild disease. I'm at the mercy of your love. Take a walk through town, on the street where you live, past your house, the empty lot. Are you still gone?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for sticking around this long. Thanks for being a part of Depot TV. Thanks for supporting the work of the Depot. I would like to thank all of the sponsors, the individuals, the businesses that help produce the programs of Depot TV. And that could include you. As a matter of fact, if you saw my pitch, it's membership drive in September. And if you're willing to become a member in September, comment member in September on this post. The first person to do it, I'll upgrade that membership to the next level up. All right. And I'll send you 2 Summer Breeze stickers. Why not? Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.
If you hear the train whistle in the broad daylight, you know